Hi, class. Welcome to week 6, module 6. So, this week we're nearing the end of the term, and we're going to focus on two essential topics that bring our discussions about elections to the community level state and local elections and voter participation. Together, these chapters help us understand how the structure of elections and the behavior of voters shape political outcomes at every level of government. So we're going to start with Chapter 11, State and Local Elections. So these chapters look at how progressive era reforms transformed local elections in the early 20th century. Reformers wanted to reduce corruption and weaken political machines, but these changes also brought unintended consequences. In the state and local elections lecture, you're going to learn about how reforms like at large elections, nonpartisan ballots, and off cycle elections continue to affect representation and voter turnout today. For example, at large elections, where all voters in a city elect every member of a council, were intended to make elections more efficient and fair, but they often reduce minority representation. District based elections, by contrast, can make it easier for racial and ethnic minorities to win seats. But the outcomes kind of vary widely depending on community demographics. And you're also going to learn about how holding local elections off cycle, separate from state and federal elections, dramatically reduces voter turnout. The lecture also explores state elections where factors like term limits, legislative professionalism, and party strength vary widely across states. You'll see how these structural differences shape political competition and policy outcomes. So, for instance, some states have part time legislatures that meet only a few months each year, while others have full time professionalized assemblies with larger staffs and budgets. These differences influence who runs for office, how often seats are turnover, and how much power incumbents hold. Now, in chapter 12, we're going to focus on voter participation. And this lecture kind of explores why turnout in the United States remains lower than in many comparable democracies. You're going to learn about three key factors that affect whether people participate: ability, motivation, and opportunity. So, ability includes factors like education and income, which influence how equipped individuals feel to navigate the political process. And motivation involves interest in politics. And partisanship and social context, such as the influence of your family, your friends, or peers who discuss elections and campaigns. So, opportunity, on the other hand, involves rules that make voting easier or harder, such as registration deadlines, early voting, voter ID laws, and mail in options. So, this lecture also compares turnout across states and how explains kind of how institutional barriers like restrictive registration policies can really lower participation rates. You're going to see how reforms like same day registration and expanded early voting can make a real difference in encouraging participation. In our discussion this week, we're going to focus on voter turnout. And that gives you the chance to kind of connect these ideas by examining what influences turnout and how reforms might improve participation. Now, remember, because of the Thanksgiving holiday, that note that there's some adjustments to the deadlines. So please complete your initial discussion post by Wednesday, and then still have your peer responses by Sunday. There are still the two short quizzes. Both are going to be due on Wednesday. And then you still have two assignments due on Sunday. We're just going to take a break for Thursday and Friday for the Thanksgiving holiday. So as you work through the module, think about how these local and state level structures shape political power and how voter participation connects everything we've studied so far, from campaign finance to polarization and electoral reform. As always, if you have any questions, reach out to me via the Canvas inbox because I'm always here to help. Thanks.